Welcome to our Hatha yoga class. My name is Tammy. Thank you for joining me. Here we are into our first class for our session, and we're working on reboot. So rebooting our system so that we are able to feel energized and ready to go as we move through our week. Beginning our class, we'll start with our warm-up. So we can stand at the top of our mat. When we stand at the top of our mat, you may want to do a little shift through your hips here. Roll your shoulders back, just a little movement here. Now we can have our toes facing forward. We stand up tall with our tailbone down towards the ground. With our thumbs forward, we'll roll our shoulders back a few times. To start doing our mobility movements, and then maybe again into our pelvis here, and then standing up tall again. Chin, draw it in towards, just tucking it in towards your body. Notice where your ears are, seeing if they're just over top of your shoulders. Now with a nice inhale breath, we draw our arms up overhead, and then exhale breath, dive forward. Inhale, come up to halfway with our flat back. Exhale, release. We do that again. Inhale, come up to halfway with our flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale one more time, come up to halfway. Exhale, release. Let's come up all the way this time. Inhale, draw the arms up overhead. And exhale, take your hands down into your heart center. Okay, maybe a little shift through the hips again. Look down at your toes. How about if we take our arms by the side and then take your toes up towards the sky and fan them out. Now this is a little bit harder to do, easier said than done, and then place them back down towards the ground. Lift them up, fan them out, and then place them back down. One more time, lift, fan, and then place them back down towards the ground. Okay, so we have our foundation through our feet, nice and solid. Lifting up through your arches, our ankles are strong. Now draw the navel in towards your spine. We use our Ujjayi breath, that inhale and exhale through the nose. Into Namaskara A, inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, dive forward, just like we did. Inhale, halfway, lift. Come to our flat back. I have a soft knees here. Exhale, take your hands down to the ground, step back with the right foot, big lunge, and then the other foot to a plank. So we hold our plank right here. I'm gripping my mat with my finger pads to help take pressure off of my wrists. Drawing the navel towards my spine. We jump the body forward, come down to the knees, hug your elbows into the waist, and lower yourself into the ground. Uncurl the toes. Pubic bone down to the ground, draw the navel in. Inhale to up dog. We have 3 of these. Exhale, 2 more. Inhale, up dog, draw your shoulders down. Exhale, 1 more time. Inhale, drop. Exhale down to downward facing dog. We've got this. And hips right up to the sky. You may alternate knee bends. Everyone, bend through the knees. Look to your hands. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. Ankles, knees, hips in line, and with an inhale breath, come up to halfway. Flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale all the way up. Draw your hands overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Let's do it all again. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway, lift, flat back. Exhale to plank, chaturanga. Okay, jutting the body forward. Take your knees down to the ground, lower. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend through the knees. Look to your hands and walk your feet to the top. Now you can bring your big toes together. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, fold, hips push them up. And then inhale, coming all the way up, arms overhead, hands overhead, and exhale, hands to the heart center. One more time through. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. A little bit quicker. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to plank. Chaturanga, we jump the body forward and lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold, drawing your heels down to the ground. Exhale, breath, bend through the knees. Look to the hands and walk your feet to the top of the mat. Remember, your big toes can touch here, or you're having ankles, knees, hips in line. Inhale, halfway lift. Come to your flat back. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Hands to your heart center with your exhale breath. Beautiful. Namaskara B, we add the squat and we add our lunge. Inhale, come to a squat. Take your arms overhead. Exhale, come up and dive forward. Hinge through the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, lunge plank. So chaturanga, just like before. Jutting the body forward, lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, here is the part we add in. Three-legged dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bend through the knee and step between your hands. Inhale, come up to a high lunge. Push your left heel back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. Inhale, coming up, three-legged dog, left leg lifts. Exhale, step between your hands. Push your right heel back and inhale, come up to your high lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog, we hold. We breathe. Exhale, breath, bend through the knees. Walk, step, or jump your feet to the front. Remember, your big toes can touch again. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, release, head hangs. Inhale to squat, sit your bottom back so your knees are not coming over your toes. And then coming all the way up with our exhale breath and your arms wrap the opposite way, hands to your heart center. One more time through. Inhale to squat. Exhale, come up and dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to plank chaturanga, jutting that body forward and we lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg lifts. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, high lunge, coming all the way up. And exhale, downward facing dog, hold. Let your head hang. Exhale, breath, bend through the knees. Walk, step, or jump your feet to the front. You can take one nice big step. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, head hangs, push your bottom up. Inhale to squat. And then exhale, come up. Take your arms the opposite way and hands to your heart center. Is that what our body was needing? Lots of movement, and that's for the whole body, and that is definitely warming up our body. Into our next pose, we come into Crescent Moon. So again, you can have your big toes together or ankles, knees, hips in line. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Intertwine your fingers, and I'm going to have my index fingers pointing up, wrap my thumbs around each other, and then come over to the right side. Long through both sides of the waist. I'm just going to turn so you can see me on a different angle. With the inhale breath, come all the way back up. Exhale breath, dive forward and let yourself hang. Oh, how nice. We let ourselves go. Into Crescent Moon again. So inhale, come up to halfway. We got our flat back. I have soft knees to help keep my back flat. Exhale, release. Inhale, coming all the way back up into Crescent Moon again. So wrap your fingers around each other, index fingers pointing up, and wrap your thumbs the opposite way, and we tip over to the left side, and we breathe. Arms by the sides of your ears, drawing your navel in. With the inhale breath, make your way back up. And the exhale breath, dive forward. And release, let your head hang. Inhale breath, come up to halfway. We have our flat back again. Exhale, release, hold. Inhale all the way up, arms coming all the way up overhead. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. We sit back into a squat. So I'm going to have my big toes still together, but you can have your ankles, knees, and hips in line with each other, your choosing. Inhale, exhale, sit back down into a squat. Now checking to see if your knees are passing your toes. We don't want them to. See if you can have your back flat, drawing that navel in. With the exhale breath, we twist towards the left side. Take your elbow onto the outside of the knee. The left knee will want to jut forward. You can take your right arm up towards the sky. You can turn your gaze so you're looking at your right thumb. Coming out of the twist, take your hands back together. Take your hands down. Take your bottom up to the sky, let your head hang, and we just let ourselves hang here again. Inhale, come up to halfway, we have our flat back again. Exhale, release, fold, draw your bottom up, so push the hips up. Inhale all the way up, arms come overhead. Exhale, sit back down into your squat. Inhale, hold. Exhale, twist towards the left side. Now your elbow's gonna come onto the outside. Right knee will want to jut forward, don't let it. Square those knees. You can take your left hand away. Come out of the twist with an exhale breath. We once again let ourselves hang, so take your arms down, draw your bottom up, let your head hang, and we just let everything go. Maybe you want to do a side to side sway here. Inhale, come halfway up, flat back, and exhale, release. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead again, and exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, beautiful. Take your hands onto your hips, bend through the knees, and if you don't have your ankles, knees, and hips in line with each other, we're gonna do it here, so you can step or do a jump out. Okay, maybe a shift through the hips. 2 more forward folds. These are a little bit different. I'm just gonna back up a little bit more so that you can see me here. With an inhale breath, draw your arms up overhead and we dive forward. Take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Now bend your knees enough to get your chest as close as possible to your thighs. And we take our elbows out to the side, we let our head hang. With our breath, we inhale, imagine taking up the back of your legs. With your exhale breath, taking it down, your back to your head. Nice big circle. With our inhale breath, we release our toes and step the hands forward. Exhale breath, come up to halfway, place your hands onto the hips. Inhale again, we're gonna come into a back bend here. So we stand tall, we draw our navel, engage your bandha towards your spine, and we come into a back bend through the upper part of our back, elongating through the spine, and then exhale, releasing out. One more forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Take your hands underneath the balls of your feet. So your palms of your hands, taking them underneath the balls, the soles of your feet, your toes come to your wrist crease. And you're pressing down onto your hands here. It's very, very good for those hands. You're gonna lighten them up a bit here. Elbows come out to the sides as before. Let your head hang. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Inhale breath, release your hands, step your hands forward, getting the blood flow back, and then exhale, come up to halfway, we place our hands onto the hips. Inhale, coming all the way up, back into our back bend. Shine your heart up to the sky, and release. Beautiful. In Tadasana, so Tadasana, our mountain pose, turn your palms towards the front, shoulders soft. Here I want you to take everything in to feel all the sensations running through your body. Close your eyes. We may notice our physical body first. And then notice your mind. And how are you feeling? We take notice. Opening up your eyes. A smile, place your hands onto the hips and bend through the knees, triangle pose. Step the right foot back, turning on the ball of the foot, and then take your heel down. So here I lined up my heels, or I can have my front heel in line with my back arch. Into triangle pose, Trikonasana, we may have straight legs, or we're gonna have that front knee bend. Our knee does not pass our toes or turn in, so it's nice and opening into our hips here. What would you like to do? Inhale, sweep your arms up to shoulder height, jet forward, and then exhale, twist, rotate your body towards the right side. Here you may want to use a block to place your hand onto it. Notice the waist. Keeping your waist nice and long. You may have your hand a little bit higher. You can have your hand down to the floor. You can turn your head so your drishti is looking at your right thumb. With our inhale breath, turn your head back towards me and then coming all the way up. Exhale, windmill your right and then left hand down towards the ground. Inhale, place your left hand onto the hip. Exhale, twist, rotate your body towards the left. Again, you may want to be using your block here. You may want to have the knee bent. You can release your left hand away from the hip. exhale breath, come out of the twist. Inhale breath, windmill your right and left hand back up. Exhale, bend through the knees and step to the top of your mat and a shift through the hips. You can remain here or you can follow me. I'm just turning, so going to the other end of my mat so you can see how I open up. So you can do the same. And maybe we have a shift here and then into our triangle pose again. You can hear it as Trikonasana or Trikonasana. Bend through the knees, step the left foot back. On the ball of the foot, we turn. Now again, what would you like to do here? Remember, the knee could be bent. Inhale, take your arms up, jut the body forward, and exhale, rotate your body nice and long through the waist. Remember, you can use your block. You can place your hand onto your leg. You can turn your head so your gaze, your drishtis at your left thumb. Turn your head back towards me with an inhale breath. And the exhale breath, windmill your left and then right hand down towards the ground. Inhale, place your hand on, right hand onto the hip. Exhale, twist your body towards the right. Take your hand away if you so choose. Exhale breath, come out of the twist. Inhale breath, left and right hand windmills up. Bend through the knees with the exhale and step to the top of the mat and a little shift. I do wonder if you're hearing my cats, their kittens, running around and they're chasing each other with their little pitter patter. Okay, at the top of your mat. And a shift through the hips here. Okay, 3 poses. We have Warrior B and extended side angle, and then we'll come into exalted warrior. So at the top, bend through the knees, step the right foot back, turn on the ball of the foot, just like we did. We have the left knee bent the whole time, so it's pointing straight ahead, and we check that out. Upper body stays over top of your hips here. So if you're too far forward or too far back, just notice and then center yourself here. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, come into your lunge. Warrior B, looking over your middle finger. Shoulders soft. Inhale, windmill your right, and then left hand down with an exhale, hold. And breathe. Our shoulders are soft again. Inhale to exalted warrior. So take your right hand down, left arm comes up over top, long through the waist, exhaling, hold, and breathe. Shoulders soft. Hear your breath. Inhale back to Warrior B. Exhale, bend through the knees. Take your arms down and step to the top of the mat and a little shift through the hips. Beautiful. All the same. 3 poses on the other side. Bend through the knees, step the left foot back, turning on the ball of the foot. You may line up your heels again or front heel with your back arch. Inhale, take your arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, lunge forward. Open up those legs, look over your middle finger. Inhale, come to exalted warrior. Exhale, hold. Shoulders soft. Inhale Inhale to exalted warrior. Did I say exalted? I was extended side angle. I'm sorry. I think I did. Exhale, holding. Inhale back to warrior B. And exhale, bend through the knees and step to the top of the mat and a little shift. And how are the hips there? Oh, those hips again. We did a little bit of movement into our hips to open up, but now we'll add a bigger pose to open up through our hips. And this is dragon pose. So back to the top of your mat and a shift through your body. Let's go into Namaskara A to get into downward facing dog. You may have your big toes touch. Here we go. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, in downward facing dog, you can be on the ball of your feet. Three-legged dog, right leg lifts for dragon pose. Bend through the knees with an exhale and step onto the outside of the right wrist. Drop your pelvis down for dragon. Okay, we're getting into the right side of our hip here now. If you would like to bring your left knee down, you can double up your mat and take your knee down to the ground, or without it. You may come down a little bit more by taking your forearms down to the ground, and you're going to get a bigger stretch right into the right side. Let your head hang, shoulders soften. Out of dragon pose, take your hands back towards the mat, and to downward facing dog, we're going to do a big push back. Push. Okay, coming into our next pose, dragon on the other side. Take your left leg up, bend through the knees and step onto the outside of the left wrist. You again may take your knee down. You can also take your forearms down. Let your head hang. Let your head hang. We make our way out of dragon. Come back to your hands. With an exhale breath, a nice big push back. Downward facing dog. And then bend through the knees. Take your knees down to the ground. Uncurl the toes. Child's pose. Now, child's pose, you can do it however you like. You can have your knees forward. And then we're getting into our spine. You can have your knees turned out. Get into the pelvis a little bit more. And then you can open up through the front of your body, maybe a little bit more towards the ground. Letting the forehead rest is the important part. Coming out of child's pose to all fours. Take your toes down towards the ground and then just do a little wagging of your tail towards the back. Okay, how about if we sit back into the heels and then come forward, back into the heels. Forward, one more time. And then come to all fours. Step forward with your right hand and left hand back into downward facing dog and push your hips up. Take your knees down to the ground, let them hover about an inch or two. Push your hips back to downward facing dog. Come back with your knees down to the ground. Last time, push towards the sky for downward facing dog. And then back down, let your knees rest. And step your right hand, left hand back. Okay, all fours. Take your right arm up towards shoulder height. And with an exhale breath, threading the needle towards the left side, let your head hang. Let your head rest here. Coming out, and take your hand back down into our other side. Inhale, sweep your left arm up to shoulder height. Exhale, threading the needle towards the right side. Let your head rest. Inhale breath, make your way back up. Take your arm to shoulder height, and then exhale, take your hand down towards the ground. Okay, release your toes again, back into child's pose. So uncurl the toes. Now, how would you like to do child's pose? If you did it one way, maybe you're going to do it another way. Maybe your arms are going to be forward this time, or maybe they're going to be back. We let the forehead rest. Pose. Taking both of your legs forward. Some of you know my kittens. And they're a little naughty, of course, right now. Okay, so remove the fleshy part from your bottom, so you're on your sits bones, and both of your legs are forward. With an inhale breath, sit up nice and tall. We are in Dandasana. And then inhale, take your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward into Paschimottanasana. Let the head rest here. You can be looking at your big toes or nose to the knee. Inhale, make your way back up, arms overhead, and then exhale, release, bending both of your knees. Take your hands behind your bottom about 3 inches away that your thumbs will be. So if this does not work for your wrists right here, you can tent your fingers and still lift up your chest right here. Into our tabletop, reverse tabletop. We draw our bottom up off the ground. Only if you want to, you don't have to. You can just continue to lift your chest up. We're opening up now. It's a nice big opening into our shoulders. Lift the hips higher. Coming out with your exhale breath. And release. Take both the legs forward and then just give them a shake, shake, shake onto the ground. Take your right foot into your inner thigh. I'm just going to change my computer screen so that it's just going to be a little lower for us while you're in this pose. So taking your right foot into your inner thigh, inhale, take your right arm overhead, and then exhale, fold over top of your left leg, and we hold. With an inhale breath, make your way out. There's my kitten into the screen too. Okay. And into our other side with our exhale breath, we switch. Inhale, sweep your arm up. Exhale, come up and over top. Up, and the exhale breath, we release. Take your legs forward and then give them a shake, shake, shake. Taking into deer pose, take your left leg forward, take your right leg behind. Little flowing movement here first. With a pelvic tilt right here, we add a flowing movement. So pelvic tilt and inhale, sweep your arm up towards the left, and then exhale, release. Follow your fingertips. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, release. One more time. And exhale, release. We hold deer pose, pelvic tilt, and then turn, rotate. I'm sorry, my pants are both dark here. I will change that for next week. Relax your shoulders. Nice twist. Out of your twist, down to our other side. So take the right leg forward, left leg comes behind. We have our flowing movement first. Okay, inhale, reach up towards the right, pelvic tilt, exhale, release. Inhale, follow your fingers up, reach, exhale, release. Inhale, elongating through the spine, reach up and exhale. Release. We hold the pelvic tilt here, pelvic tilt. Turn and twist towards the right. And coming out, releasing. Take both of your legs forward. Into a V. Let's get a little bit better here. Okay. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, folding forward. We're not worried about how far we come down towards the ground. The only concern is if your back is flat. So I'll show you this way. So instead of rounded, we have our flat back. So I like to lift up through my tailbone here, just from the bottom, and then lift and fold. How is your cervical spine? Did we let our head drop? Keep your cervical spine. Just with a natural curve without dropping the head. With an inhale breath, make your way back up. And exhale, bend one knee and then the other. And then shake, shake, shake. Into boat pose for our next pose here. Sitting up nice and tall. So again, we have that back that's flat. You can have your heels down here. You can hold onto your knee pits. Lift one foot and then the other foot off the ground. And release your hands. And keeping your back flat, we breathe, toes up towards the sky. With our exhale breath, let go, release, and then you can bring your legs crossed in front here. How about if we do this with a block? So if you don't have a block, you can use a small cushion, and then you're holding it between your knees. So with a block, we place it between our knees. A foam block, it's very lightweight, so it works good, definitely, for holding. This is a cork block, so it's a little bit heavier. So back to our, not rounded, but our flat back. So we have to lift our chest up, sit back into a V. You lift both legs off the floor. If you want, you can hold both of your knee pits, or we're letting them go. Squeeze your block between your knees. We notice here now a little change because we can fire our core a lot more. Keep holding. Keep holding. In 3, in 2, and 1. Release. Beautiful. We'll keep our block with us. We roll over to the side here, and then to our back, and then just bend your knees. Okay. Having your block handy, we place our block between our knees. Once again, having your hands placed down by the side of your body, palms down, into a bridge pose, flowing bridge. Inhale, draw your pelvis up to the sky. Exhale, come down. Do it again. A few more to go. Always looking up to the sky, never looking around so you don't hurt your neck. And then draw your pelvis back down towards the ground, draw your knees in towards the chest, having now our knees at a 90-degree bend, and have your block between your knees or your pillow. Still the same. Heels towards the ground. When you take your heels down to the ground, it is with an inhale breath, exhale, pulling back up. Okay. Let knees bent first, and then we can have our legs straight. Look up to the sky, and inhale, draw your heels down. Exhale, up. Now we're engaging our bandha. So just below the belly button, pull in towards your spine. Two more. Shall we have our legs straight? How about we try it with one more for legs straight? Okay. Now legs are straight up into the sky. We balance our block or pillow onto our feet. Balance something else too, so just bend through the knees. And yes, to place it now onto our feet is the hardest part. How do we say that? And now just balance. Find stillness. Definitely meditation. We have to come out. So bending through the knees, we can remove our block and take your block down towards towards the ground and just set it aside. Take one knee in towards the chest, extend your right knee into the chest, extend your left leg onto the floor. For this next pose, we turn our right knee out towards the side. Hold on to your right ankle with your left hand, and with the knee turning out, draw the ankle in towards the body without sickling, so without twisting your ankles. You have to keep it straight. And have your toes up towards the sky. A little change again. Take your right knee towards the left shoulder. We release. Coming out of the turn, we take our right leg up towards the sky with a bend through the knee, and now point and flex the foot. Hold the foot flexed. Push your heel up to the sky. Don't worry about how far the leg comes in towards the body. We focus on having our legs straight. So we're able to get into our femur, into the hamstrings. Left knee back into the chest with the right knee. Hold. Take your right foot down, keeping the left knee in towards the chest. Extend your right leg straight on the ground. Just like before, turn the knee out towards the side. Hold onto the ankle with the right hand now. Keep your ankle straight. Adding on, knee to the shoulder. Coming out. And take your leg back, and we bring the leg up. Slight bend to the knee. Point and flex. Point. Flex. Hold the foot flex, push your heel up to the sky. We release, bending through the knee. Take the right knee back into the chest. Side roll, back and forth, side roll, and then forward roll, massage into your spine here, only if that suits you. Now before Shavasana, you can come into whatever pose that you would like to do, whatever movement that you would like to. Maybe you want to take your feet out wider than the hips. Take your arms out in line with your shoulders and do a windshield wiper. Through the knees, legs, side to side. You want it to go into happy baby. Maybe something that is something else that's calling you before Shavasana. And then when you are ready, you can start to set yourself up for Shavasana. So you can lie on your back. You can have your legs straight. You can have your knees bent. So also do legs up the wall, legs up the wall. Let your body rest. Finding stillness. Close your eyes. Let the lips part to help your cheeks soften. I will call you back when it is time. slowly starting to come back. You can notice the music, any other sounds around you. Shift through your body now. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. If you're lying down, and take your right arm overhead, bending through the knees. Should have said that one first, I think. Bending through the knees, take your right arm overhead, and then gently rolling over to your right side to fetal. Take a moment. And then making your way up to a comfortable position for yourself. Placing your hands to your heart center. Feeling re-energized, but an overall calm. Feeling a happiness from within.